Hey guys, AQG here. So, I don't really make videos like this, but at the time of recording, Sega just dropped the newest trailer for Sonic Racing Crossworlds. It's like the competition trailer, I think it's called. And in it, they kind of announced like an open network test. I haven't really been keeping track with what's been happening with Racing Crossworlds because of last year with Shadow Generations. I felt like just watching that game's marketing, it kind of just spoiled like 90% of the game. I think the only thing they didn't show was the final boss. So I figured I'd try to stay away from this one. If I still haven't made a decision I'm gonna buy it or not, or pre-order it or not. It is a hefty price, but the more I'm seeing, like just scrolling through social media, I'm trying to avoid trailers and stuff. But the more I'm seeing, the more I'm like noticing, like, wow, these guys are going all out for this one. This actually might be like something similar to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where it's meant to be like this platform which will like keep receiving updates or whatnot for, you know, a long time, you know. So they're, I guess they might be in this ride for the long run, right? I don't know, but it's kind of like got me thinking. For one thing, I've checked out the trailer, like it kind of popped up in my feed multiple times, and I was like, I don't want to watch that. Just stay away, don't spoil yourself. But then, like, 1-2 times, and I just click on it, it's like, it's a minute, just watch it. Right? And I watch it, and I'm like, dude, regardless of what you think, like, let me know what you think of the game in the comments below. But it really is making me think, when was the last time we had it this good, guys? I kind of wanted to talk about that a bit. So I figured I'd just make a video talking about, like, Crossworlds in of itself. And then maybe I just wanted to go over, like, a couple of projects ever since Frontiers. Like, this franchise has shifted. Like, if you were a fan like 5 years ago or something, it's a completely different ballgame we're in right now, right? So, yeah. I remember near the tail end of last year when this game was initially teased. We got that whole teaser with Shadow taking out his car and like, alright, a new racing game and all that, and that was cool. And there was nothing really to show from that or to, like, you know, extrapolate from that. The only thing that people saw was that there was an Extreme Gear in the background, or at least something covered up that resembled an Extreme Gear, and everyone just started speculating, right? And that was the whole, like, excitement then. And then eventually just does get announced, and I don't remember if it was the Summer Games Fest trailer, or it was one before that. There was also a closed beta test that happened at some point. There was some point where I just decided to stop following the marketing. Like, don't get me wrong, everything I was seeing is good. I'll get to that in a second. But like I mentioned with the tidbit with Shadow, if I was going to go through with this game, like the only things I were really looking forward, like just wanted to know, were the requirements for the PC if I wanted to get it on Steam, or and the price. And the price was eventually announced, and $70 full price. This is the first Sonic product, guys. Is that's full price. That's full, like $70. Is a racing game, not a mainline game, not, you know, anything you'd expect it to be. It's a racing game, and you know, at first, like that was happening around the whole Mario Kart debacle, and like, oh my God, Nintendo, $80, and then Xbox followed suit, and like the whole Borderlands thing happened as well. So you know, everyone's already sensitive about the pricing and all that, and then they dropped this $70, and it's like, wow, okay, so you guys are doing this. It's but then I don't know. The more I look at it, and the more they've, like, I have no idea how much they paid to license all these extra, like, or I don't know, cameo franchises. Like, dude, Pac-Man had to have cost a fortune, and others as well. So the more I get it, like why it's costing this much, let's just hope the quality follows suit. But from what I'm seeing, it's following suit. It seems to be fine. There seems to be a lot of content to go around. There seems to be a hefty playable roster, and everything from like the previous games seems to be there, like the whole transform thing, where you know, you're in a boat, then you're in the air, then you're just on wheels again. Mario Kart's doing this as well, but I always tie it back to All-Stars Racing Transform. That's what I remember it from. Yeah, so everything seems to be there. The whole trick system that they had, like the customization for your karts, you know, everything seems to be in place for this game, and a lot of characters. And like I mentioned, it just seems to be like this big thing, and it just, you know, for one thing I have to mention now, being a Sonic fan, like I was born in '99, right? So I'm technically I'm a 2000s kid. I grew up with the PlayStation 2 was my first console. I grew up with what many refer to as the dark ages of Sonic, as I'm sure like most of the big YouTubers are like similarly my age now. That's why you're seeing like this renaissance of actually I really liked the Shadow the Hedgehog. Actually I really liked Sonic Unleashed. You know, I'm one of that generation. I'm one of those people. If you're like one of the classic fans or anything. So it's just seeing them call back to like, oh look, Jet's back and the Extreme Gears are back. Oh look, Digital Circuit, I think I heard is like a stage from Shadow the Hedgehog. Like what? And just seeing them like, you know, this has been happening ever since Frontiers, where the franchise just took this different direction, where it just seems to be respecting its older content a lot more now, which is just giving me like, it's making me feel so validated right now that I'm tempted to just, you know what, send it, brother. Just $70, $90, what do you want? Take it, you know? And yeah, it just got me thinking, like, I'm genuinely thinking of pre-ordering this game, so I wanted to, like, see what your thoughts are. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is it worth it? Do you feel like it's not much? I don't want to watch too many trailers or anything. It just, in my experience, they just tend to spoil everything. They did the same with Sonic Frontiers, by the way. That's why I'm just becoming a pattern. So I want to stay away from the marketing, but it does look really good. That's part of the video. The rest of this, I just wanted to talk about like all the big projects ever since Sonic Frontiers, and see like how this franchise kind of shifted, and we're like, genuinely in a completely different era right now. Frontiers is definitely one of the messier games they've ever shipped out. Well, to be honest, it's surprising to see. Like, it's one of the messier games they shipped out that it was received this, like, highly regarded, you know? I wasn't expecting it to be this well received. But then again, like, I was keeping track, man, of this game. I was closely following the marketing, and I was expecting it to be like another meh game that I just wanted to ignore. I did the same thing with Forces. In 2017, Forces came around, and then we started to see like a couple of trailers. Alright, cool. And then gameplay starts rearing its ugly head, and I'm like, I see the red flags, and I'm one of those people who's like, you know what, I'm just going to like, you know, dip my head in the sand. I'll, you know, do something else, let this game drop. If I like see red flags, I don't like to argue with people beforehand to see like, oh, this is gonna suck, this is gonna be amazing, all that. We can't say anything definitively. We're just like bouncing off opinions here, and it just ends up being more toxic than anything else. I think any Sonic fan listening to this can relate, honestly. So I thought Frontiers was shaping up to be the same thing, right? Oh, here, 5 years later, we're back in the same boat, doing the same song and dance. But then they actually turned it around. They somehow showed like miserable gameplay at the beginning with the whole IGN showcase. But then I think later, at a Nintendo Direct or something, was the first time they showed like genuinely solid gameplay. And that's when I was like hooked, right? I was watching everything. And then, you know, so it came to the point where you know what, I'll pre-order this. I really want to see where the franchise is going. It's a mainline Sonic game. $60, it's fine. It is what it is. And at the time, I was just out of college, so I didn't have a job. So actually, like, getting the money for this thing was not the easiest thing at all. I just had to like save. I was already saving money from like small odd jobs that I was taking, like music lessons, things like that. I was saving money up from that, and I managed to like get enough to like pre-order the game, and I played it. And honestly, I was very mixed on playing it. Like, Frontiers to me, it's a very mixed bag, man. Like, I don't know. I've been asking people's opinions. I have fun with this game. I think it's a fun game overall, and the DLC truly helped. I think the DLC elevated this game to something genuinely positive. Not just for the content of the DLC itself, but for, number one, it was free. It was like given to us for free, no extra charge. So what you paid, you're not paying anymore. And that, and like the dedication and the care that the team behind it seemed to have. Like, I think there was even a point where they patched like something out of the blue for no reason other than the fans were complaining. And then I remember there was a time where the director, Mario Kishimoto, was on Twitter and was like very active in responding to people, and that was like an exciting time where everyone was just trying to get their 2 cents and, hey, do this, hey, do that, please. You know? So it breathed life into the franchise, and you know, like no other game did before it. and it just really made you excited. And the writing as well. You know, you can say what you will about the writing, Ian Flynn and all that, but it was a massive shift, and it acknowledged like a huge blind spot that was ignored before by previous games. That, you know, with the whole everything is canon thing now, right? So everyone's just talking about that now, and like we're referencing past games, maybe a bit too much depending on how you ask and on who you ask. But we're referencing past events. We're doing past stuff. These characters are like seasoned veterans that are growing and still growing further, and they've seen so many events, and they're learning from them. It just gave everyone the validation they needed, and it just it felt like the whole open world thing and the gameplay itself was obviously different. It just was a massive shift. Even though the game itself feels kind of like broken and unfinished, I still don't like the pop-in. I still think the forced minigames are kind of dumb. The mini puzzles with the whole map unlocking thing, I never liked, to be honest. It's not terrible. Like, none of it kills the game, but just bit by bit, like, it feels like the game needed more time in the oven. I wish it had a better art style, something that gives it its own identity a bit more, especially since all the locales you go to, they're just islands with very generic, like, here's a forest, here's a desert, here's a volcano, and that's it. There's no more than that, So I don't know, man. I feel like the game, as time passes, it's so easy to see the flaws in this game, and that's why I feel like people are hating it a bit more. But it definitely, like, is, I don't know, the best way to describe this one is another another entry in the extremely divisive games in the franchise. You either love it, you either hate it. I don't know, man. But it definitely marked a shift in the franchise. That's what I've been trying to hint at here. Superstars is definitely an odd case of the reverse happening, as it's not what you would expect. It's a case of where the marketing looked a lot better than the actual game. I don't actually hate Superstars, just for the record, but initially when I was looking at the marketing, it wasn't enough to sell me, especially since knowing this was also going to be a $60 game, which was very ambitious since I think Mania debuted at like 40, maybe even 20. I think it debuted at 20. Forces was 40. Yeah. So Superstars, I was like, 60? Really? Okay. But I wasn't really willing to pay that. Unlike Frontiers, it didn't do enough to sell me on it, and naturally I avoided like everything about it because I don't want to spoil myself. I just wanted to go in blind. It looked cool enough I would get it eventually when it went on sale, and that's what I did. I think I got it in mid-2024 on the PS4 for like $30 when it went on sale, 50% off. And honestly, to tell you the truth about Superstars, it's okay. It's fun. I think you can have a lot of fun with the game, but granted a couple of things. Number one, you don't play the multiplayer. The sad thing is this thing didn't work at all. Like, it worked, it was functional, but for the main feature that this thing was being, sold as, like, oh look, you can do multiplayer now. Like, remember when Mario and Donkey Kong and all those franchises were doing it like a decade ago? Well, you can do it now. Donkey Kong, Kirby, I mean. Whoops. So, you can do that now. Yeah, you can play multiplayer with your friends and all that, and that seems pretty fun, right? But I picked it up, we tried playing it, I tried playing it with my brother, and we played a lot of multiplayer games before. We did actually beat Mario Bros. Wii on the Nintendo Wii back in the day. We beat both Rayman Origins and Legends together, and those games are phenomenal. I'd love to talk about them someday. But yeah, so we play Superstars, and yeah, Mario and Rayman, this ain't, guys. It just was not working at all, like how you intended to be. More often than not, it was one player playing the game rather than the two, because one of them was lost and the other one was just barely keeping up, because the screen would always try to fill 2 players. And if it didn't, it just bring the original player back to, or like the player that got off screen back in screen, where they would immediately get off screened again because, well, you're just going that fast. So it needs a bit more playtesting, So that the second point you have to tolerate is the boss fights. The boss fights aren't the best. They take forever. And yeah, those are like the main 2 gripes for me. If you play the game single player, I think you're in for a decent time. I think it's a fun game still. The only other like small gripe I have with it, I don't like the art style as much as Mania. Like the pixel art style did it so much better for me. It was much more smooth. But to be fair, Superstars in of itself is a really good looking game, so I don't hate on that too much. And the originality in the zones, I don't know, man. Like Superstars was also very generic in terms of its zones. Like I remember, I think back to Mania. Again, I have to keep comparing it to Mania. I'm sorry, it is what it is. But think back to Mania again, and like Studiopolis and Mirage Saloon, those two were like the big. Press Garden as well was amazing. Those 3 zones were like, dude, that's a new idea right there, man. That's like taking actually making something original. I think like the stages like, I don't know, Kingdom Valley from Sonic 06 or Frog Forest or Grand Metropolis from Sonic Heroes. You know, stages that are just like, you see that's unique to Sonic, right? It's not like this unique or this very typical jungle locale or desert locale. I feel like Superstar could have done a bit better there too, but overall, I know I've been sounding pretty negative on the game, but yeah, it definitely was not, like for me, it's not worth $60. I'll be honest, I kind of would have wanted to get it for less than 30, to be honest with you. But I still think there's fun to be had there. And the fact that it actually had like really good marketing, like none of the cracks really showed, at least for me, maybe I missed something there. But during the marketing of this game pre-launch, I was genuinely thinking this, like, wow, a Sonic game with competent marketing, like straight off the bat. Wait. We're living in a new era here, guys. This is unheard of, you know. So Superstars again, it's no Mania. Like I've been hinting towards, not even hinting toward. I've been very aggressively telling you that it's no Mania, but I still think it's a fun game. It has its flaws, but you know, still like not a Sonic 06 or Sonic Boom of like the new gen, right? Which brings us to the latest entry as of August 2025 in the Sonic games list, Sonic X Shadow Generations. And to give it points right off the bat here, wow, a port or a remaster that actually is functionable on launch? No way, no, Sega, you're pulling my leg here. We're actually putting effort into this now? I say this because Sonic Origins, Sonic Colors Ultimate, I didn't buy either of them on launch, but just to see the state that they just re-released their games in, it's just sad to see, right? And I always have to like use mods to fix it or buy it on console, which might still be buggy depending on your luck. I don't know, man. But yeah, as for Sonic Generations, it was completely functional, had even new add-ons which were like in the form of the Chow, and I guess technically the rewriting of the story, which was kind of pointless, but I didn't really care too much. People made a fuss about it. I never really cared that deeply, but I kind of got where they were coming from. But anyway, that was like very small price to pay for actually functioning port of like one of my favorite Sonic games of all time. And not to mention, it came bundled with something that I wasn't expecting it to be bundled with. I thought the Shadow campaign was going to be like this short thing. Well, I mean, technically it is like a 3-4 hour campaign, which some consider it a short thing, but I guess we these days consider it just the length of your average Sonic game, so hey. But yeah, it came with one of my other favorite Sonic games ever. Shadow Generations honestly broke into my top 5 as well. It's amazing. I don't hold it up there with the original Sonic Generations, but it's still definitely very close, and it's been a long time since they released a game this good. Honestly, the last like game that I was this shocked at the quality was Mania, to be honest, back in 2017. So it's amazing, guys. This was another, like, I already talked about this in a separate video. I guess I can link it up here. You can go watch that if you'd like. But I kind of was amazed how they took the Frontiers formula, took what they needed for the Shadow Generations game, you know. How do we make like a sequel to Sonic Generations, but also tie it into what we're to Sonic Frontiers and the current formula we're trying to perfect. And the way they handled it, and the way Shadow Generations released, and the level of polish and everything, it just blows my mind, man. This is the game that just showed me that, hey, we're kind of back, no? We're kind of like actually we're eating good, guys. I don't know. It really excited me. This was another game that it didn't take much, granted, because again the marketing was on point the entire time, and you were always excited because they're always showcasing like a lot. Again, my only issue was that near the end of the game, near launch, basically you'd seen everything that the game had to offer. I was never really surprised throughout playing the game, but I was enjoying it, so I don't know, man. Yeah, this is we're like living in a different era now. We're just actually getting good quality content that has the budget behind it, that has the talent and the manpower and the teams and the good direction and the good management. You know, it's not perfect. You can definitely let me know any gripes you have with any of the games that I was talking about, including Crossworlds or the movies, or, you know, there's a lot to critique. And always, it's important to critique the media we're given, right? That's how we can improve and make it better and see, like, other people's perspectives. But you can't keep, like, being negative just for the sake of being negative, or just for the sake that it's not exactly what you wanted to get out of the franchise, right? At the end of the day, I'm not a big open world, like, I'm not a fan of open world games myself. I think we've gotten way too many of them. It's been, like, overdone to hell and back. And I just want, like, especially on my platform, I just want, like, a decent, good mechanics. It doesn't have to be too long, but it has to, like, be something very replayable and keep me coming back. It has to have some difficulty, you know. Like, I have a couple of points that I'm looking for in a game, but at the end of the day, I'm still grateful for what we're getting, guys. And this is not even to mention the movies and everything else. Like, I haven't finished Sonic Prime, but I heard a lot of mixed things about it. I haven't finished it, but the animation quality in of itself was very impressive for me. The Sonic movies, I'm also not really the biggest fan of those, but I can't deny that they keep making them better and better. I saw Sonic 3, like, after it dropped by like a month or so. I went to watch it with a couple of friends, and I was genuinely blown away. I think they did a lot of things in that movie that I wasn't expecting them to do, and I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, this is just... it's great. There's really nothing else to say except that it's great. I know this video has been kind of like all over the place. I originally meant to talk about Crossworlds in of itself, but now that I got my thoughts on that out of the way, I just also wanted to mention, ever since Frontiers, I've been noticing, like, we're living in a different time right now, guys. I'm very excited. Like, even Crossworlds, it looks very interesting to me. Like, I'm still on the fence about it, to bring that point from the beginning of the video back. But I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this game. Are you gonna buy it? Are you not? What do you think of Frontiers, Superstars, Crossworlds, Shadow Generations? You know, all of that. So, I don't know if you could tell, but this video was entirely unscripted. It was just me, like, recording myself talking about, like, some games and, like, the news stuff and all that. Maybe the dead giveaway was that I'm stuttering all over the place and can't get 2 sentences out without, you know, messing something up. Maybe that was like a tell, maybe you could tell from that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it for a bit, especially now since we're like around a month away from a new game dropping, and yeah, I'm just excited. Anyway, with that all said, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff if you want. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one.